Tāmati Rākna taku iwa. No ngā hapu ngā iwi katoa te tai tokerau me pēhea taku poro, taku karo i ngā herenga ki ngā iwi o te kāinga nei, no te tai tokerau. Ka mutu, ko tēnei whenua e kia nei ko moitangi i pēnā i takia mai tēnā ingoa, mai i te rerenga o te wai, mai i tana maunga tarakeha taia tiki te moana tā pokopoko tāwhaki. I a koe moiana i te wahanga o te pō, ka rongo koe i te oro o te wai e rere haere ana, nā e mea ana i a koe moiani, nā e tangi ana ngā tupuna i roto i ngā wai, moitangi.
Pai mats, ka pai. And then, I guess kia moe atu te iwi, like what do you, who is Tāmati Rākna, what does he do, what are the roles, what are the hats that he wears?
So at the moment, people always ask me, they're like, oh, what do you do for mahi? I'm like, geez, I don't actually have any paid like role, but I guess Far North District Councillor, Māori Ward Councillor, first time. It's been a pretty tough but good journey at the same time. Tuatui tēnā, kua hau hoki, myself, my whānau, run the kaupapa Taiao, so kātuhu Taiao. Oh, you just happen to be wearing one.
Really?
No. But yeah, we run Taiao as a kaupapa. Even that itself, you know, e hare te mea he pakihi motuhake, engari he kaupapa Taiao hei tautoko i ngā wānanga, i ngā kura, i ngā aharaini. So yeah, that's basically it. Done a couple of contracts here and there, but I like to sort of, you know, do mahi where I'm available for my whānau the majority of the time ne. Mohena koe mena ka tupu mai tō tamaiti o tamariki, me whai taima koe ki o tamariki.
Te tūnui,
Yeah.
Che, ka pai mate, and of course we're in a very beautiful place, your place. What's the significance of this area to you?
Yeah, well, I'm from here. No, I actually married into the family. So this whenua here belongs to my partner Jude Campbell. Te Taiwana tupuna, one of her ancestors, Tupaki Kāmira, Himiona Kāmira, but her mother is actually from here, from the whānau Rātana, and this whenua is called Moitangi. The reason why it's called Moitangi is because the creek that runs here comes from the maunga Tarakeha, and at night while you're sleeping you can actually hear the water trickling along or running along, and so they say that that's the voices of our tupuna, so ka tangi, well, the crying waters to say, yeah. So, and it's a very beautiful place, like real homely. I've always felt at home here, and you know, ever since I come into the family we decided to build us a little cabin, and it's sort of grown to what it is now. Mō kohanga reo ne.
Yeah, pai mats, pai katoa tēnei wahi. So yeah, it'd be cool to kind of hear, I guess, just some kōrero mats around your own experiences, like growing up. Any kōrero around mental health, your own experiences with it?
Yeah, I think, you know, growing up, you don't really think about it, and I think it's the same for a lot of Māori. It just is what it is, and it's the same kōrero everywhere we go. It's like, oh, harden up, or, you know, what the bloody hell are you on about? But it's not until, you know, sort of gotten a bit older, you know, bump into a couple of the bros, and, you know, we start talking about certain things and start to realise, well, actually, you know, it's not just me that's going through these things or that have had these personal experiences in my life. And when I think to my old man, his brothers, and, you know, quite a few of the uncles, you like, it's really evident that none of them have really spoken out or come together to share their feelings, which is unfortunate, but I guess it's a part of, you know, colonisation and suppressing, you know, our whakaaro, our feelings, and what the different struggles are. Every day, and I always talk about that too. You know, some people say, oh, you know, I'm struggling. You know, some people have different struggles. Struggle might be just to make a cup of tea, or, you know, to figure out how to feed your family for the whole day. There's different levels of struggle that we all go through, and regardless of that level, it is a struggle for those people. You know, so I always acknowledge that. But yeah, I think coming from a background where I've never seen it, I've never heard about it, and now we're coming into this generation where we're sitting down, we're having these kōrero, we're sharing these whakaaro, we're sharing strategies on how to cope. It's a really beautiful thing, and you know, it's me pēhea rā te karo i tēnā.
Do you think of any, like, so going back to those early childhood experiences of when you may have been told to harden up, or a moment where you try to be emotional
Yeah.
and it wasn't received?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried to, you know, sort of sit down and have a cordial like this or share emotions with the bros or even my dad, like even now, like where I'm, you know, like really grown up now and the old man's still around, but like would never share those feelings. Even now, it just feels really awkward, but now I've been told to harden up or to shut up or, you know, just haere tonu ngā mahi, but I've never felt comfortable enough in a space where I knew it's all about that safety too, eh? It's if you can express your whakaaro, your struggles, how you're feeling, and to have someone there and actually listen and not just have the shush, you know, shut up, harden up or whatever. It's really good to just be like this or even be in other spaces, because we've sat down many a times, just you and I or heaps of the other bros, and we've had this kōrero, but to actually receive some advice and some manaki within those kupu, it's a really beautiful thing. It's so cool.
Oh, and I guess, yeah, so do you feel like there's a generation difference, like because our dads, our uncles, that kind of whakareanga is different?
Like there's a huge difference, and I always think that I would want this for my old man and my karani as well, but it just seems like they're so stuck in their ways, not in a bad way, but that's all they've ever known. And I think that when you've been brought up like that, you've always known one way, you've always talked one way, always the same results, you'll just stick to that, you know. And the old man's in his, the old man's in his 60s now, and I'm not saying that it's too late, but I think what I want to focus on is putting all that energy into my tamariki and teaching them that, you know, it's okay to do these sort of things. But you always wish it upon my old man, his brothers, or my other uncles. Same thing again, they show love language in a different way, and that might be like going out fishing, might be going out to do different things. A lot of times too, it might be like getting on the drinks, you know, so different love languages, Yeah,
different emotion languages,
different emotions.
Yeah, and even like, I think with that whakareanga, with the kaupapa soften up, bro, like they'll hear the kōrero, they'll see the t-shirts that we wear, say boys can cry too, and some of them get a little bit, I guess, reserved or a little bit like, you know, a little bit frightened of it. And that's been one of the key indicators that they probably need it the most. You know, they could benefit the most if they actually jumped into these kaupapa and jumped into these spaces. And yeah, I think a lot of that whakareanga did do a lot for us though too. Like they were fighting a lot of our protests, they were putting up a lot of, you know, big kaupapa and kind of had to grow a tough skin in those spaces and have to deal with colonization, having to deal with judgment. So I think that's another big thing, and only really time I really see them kind of open up is like around tangihanga, and you might see it for like a second, and then it'll like and quickly put it away. And I think that's the issue as you talk about kids, is like that becomes a learned behavior. Because then if a son or uncle or nephew sees it, they're like, okay, so I'm not supposed to be doing that.
And it's that environment that you grow up in, like you become the environment that you're used to, and that's what I try and teach my tamariki. Even growing up, I never really heard, you know, like sentences like, you know, morena my baby, I paito mai, you know, just that real manaki right from the beginning of the day to the end when you put them to sleep, even though they're doing bloody cartwheels in the bed trying to put them to sleep, but showing them and saying it too, you know, expressing your love for your tamariki right from the beginning when they wake up to when they go to sleep. And even me coming into my partner's whānau, you know, because they're just loving each other all day, and me, I was reserved there. I was like, talk like that. I'm like, get out of bed, bloody fix your bed, wash your face, all those sort of things. Because that's how we were. I was like, get up, do your work, wash your face, and but yeah. So kua tino kite I ngā hua, I roto I wena kōrero. Show your tamariki love, because at the end of the day, that's how you want them to treat you. Because kaumātua haere tāmatu, so you know, I'm pretty much planting the seed in them, so that when I'm older, they can, you know, ka hoki mai anō taua aroha, ka hoki tonu taua aroha ki warātou tamariki. Yeah, just so different, eh?
Yeah, so o whakaaro ki I guess the communities here in Te Tautukura, do you feel like that's still present? The being hard, don't cry, or boys don't cry. Do you still see that? Do you still feel it?
Yeah, I still see it. Example, last week we were on the ferry and, you know, there was this whānau on there. Straight away I knew they were quite rough. Nothing against that, it's just, you know, rough. And the tamariki were outside of the car and the parents were in the car. They were, you know, doing whatever. The tamariki was playing around outside, and then got to the other side to Rāwene, and instead of saying, you know, oh, you know, we're here now, we're at Rāwene, jump back in the car, we're going to go. It was just a, oi, get the F in the car, hurry up, get your brother, da, 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 you know. And yeah, I wasn't surprised, but at the same time, I thought straight away about how I talk to my tamariki, and I wish that those kids, those tamariki could have that same experience, eh? And I wish that for all our tamariki actually, because, you know, I see a lot of our kids, they just, it's like they wake up, they have to feed themselves, they sort of have to struggle just to get through the day, or, you know, they're all good to just get picked up by so-and-so. I don't know if they've had a wash, they've had breakfast, they've had a cuddle, and, you know, their parents, like my boy, you know, the crew would have seen that when my baby got up this morning, I gave him bacon. I asked him how his moe was, even though he was kicking me in the head last night. You know, he was outside having a shower and everything, and when he was ready to get out, I got him out, I dressed him, I kissed him, I had his bag packed, and I took him down to his nan, and I said, no, kia pai tō rā. Whereas it's not even a big assumption, but an assumption that a lot of our tamariki don't get that, and that experience on the ferry, you know, just really solidified that whakaaro
shows
for
that
me.
contrast there.
Yeah, you know, and I see those tamariki, and even me, man, if I had the capacity, I would just get all these kids and I would just take them to ohanga, and we would just look after them. We would give them what they need, and that's actually what we try to do in our whānau as well. If we see, like, my nieces and my nephews struggling, we try and create a pathway where they can come out of that. Because yeah, a lot of our kids, a lot of even, you know, our bros don't have the same guidance, I suppose, as what we've had growing up, eh? You know, let us not forget that, I suppose.
Yeah, there's some people have different experiences and probably different points on that journey of becoming emotional, becoming more available.
Yeah.
But I think do agree much in terms of the point of how we speak to our kids, and it's particularly our boys, eh?
Yeah.
So it's real beautiful to hear you talk around like how you speak to your boys, say I love you, because I think often these types of conversations are skewed towards heavy, uncomfortable, sad feelings, being emotional there, but there's emotions that are happy emotions that we're also not sharing with our boys. There's also angry emotions, or a healthy way to deal with anger that we're not sharing with our boys. So so these kids, or this generation's grown up thinking like, the only feeling I know to express is anger, and it comes out very, very strong, or very hot. Yeah. But I do think
don't get me wrong, like, you know, when you have kids, oh man, especially boys, and they're always fighting, all that sort of stuff, it's, you know, you're not going to love them all the time. You know, I do have my moments where, you know, I want to kick their asses, but at the end of the day, just come back down to earth and continue to show that love for them, mate. And for your partner too, that's a huge thing.
And patience, I think that's a
really man,
showing patience and understanding to
it's like a person who doesn't care about, you know, the e-light on their motoka. I'm just running on E all the time when it comes to patience. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but such an important value.
Yeah.
And understanding for our kids and for our sons, like they don't have what you have. They don't get that this is too much. Yeah. So it's just being like, okay, so like,
because even like you too, you know, like say you've grown up and you've missed out on certain things growing up. Like I guess we want to fill in those holes, and we want to give our tamariki the things that we didn't have. That's kind of how I think about it anyway. Like, make sure that they don't have those same experiences that I had growing up.
Yeah, hard much. And like, that's one thing I've been kind of thinking about in terms of I know a lot of the bros get caught up in the fear of rejection, and I kind of thought it for myself. I was like, shit, I do have that feeling at times too. Like, I'm scared I'm gonna offer what I believe to be my truth to someone. They're gonna say, oh, that's a lie, oh, that's not true. And I'll say, oh bro, I was really hurt by what you said. I know, or mum, I was really hurt by what you said, and then I get it, someone turns around and goes, oh, well, that's for you to manage, or that's for you to handle.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if you take enough of those experiences, you just go, okay, I'm not telling anyone anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I just get denied.
Yeah.
But so I think there's that part, but also try to find parts where you were heard.
Yeah.
I think that can be really helpful and powerful to kind of balance things out. So
Yeah.
make it ke te pō i ngā wā katoa.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, that's, when I listen to you talk about that, like I think about myself when, say, you know, my partner says, oh, you know, like, because even my tone sometimes growing up, how I grew up, you know, the tone sort of comes out where people, the way you say things isn't how people hear it, especially your tone. Like I could say, you know, oh, sweet, have a good day, instead of saying, oh, have a good day, you know, and it comes down to the tone as well. And sometimes my mate turns around to me and she's like, oh, are you like joking, or are you being for real, or like, what's wrong? Why are you grumpy? And I'm
Sweet,
like,
I love you.
Yeah. Sweet, love
I
you.
love you so much.
Sure. But it's not like, I don't mean to be like that, but sometimes, I don't know, that tone just comes back from when I was growing up.
Pai mata, actually, ko ki mai te kōrero ki tēnei wāhi.
Yeah.
So I think we were setting this particular shoot up, like, you know, much would be good if we actually get out to Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
But what's the significance of this place to you, your own mental health? I mean, it's very disconnected.
Yeah.
What does this place do for you in terms of your own oranga?
Yeah, it's that being disconnected from, you know, all the busy world, because even though, like I said at the beginning, I'm a councillor that's for 75,000 whatever constituents in the Far North District, and then we have our kaupapa Taiao, the kids, my partner, and, you know, other contracts that we do. That keeps us really busy, and so a lot of the times it's just mahi. From morning, getting the kids ready, it's such a huge rush, drop them off at school, and then we're straight to mahi meetings all day. And then even at night, you know, we're talking about work and then trying to keep a real good relationship between our household plus our extended whānau. And then when we actually come out here, you don't have all those ties, Like the cell reception here, depends what network you're on, is real poor or nothing. Wi-Fi is, you either have it or it's super slow, and, you know, when it's super slow, you're just like, oh, why am I even on here? So you're just real disconnected from the real busy life, and you're able to just sit, be, have a think about things, and actually enjoy the Taiao. Take the kids down to the creek here, the stream, and just let them swim for hours, let them be them, and then just, it's real cool not talking about work, I guess. You know, it's actually being present, having a laugh, sharing different whakaaro, all those sort of things. And yeah, this place just does so much. I mean, even you guys coming here, like even just filling up my whare feels really good. Having manuhiri, having the bros, having the whānau come here and filling up my whare feels really, really nice. And I hope that you guys, you know, are having that same experience in terms of looking around and seeing how untouched this place is. That's the cool thing, eh?
Yeah, straight up. When we pulled up, just looking at it, I was like, far, I already feel lighter.
Yeah.
I already feel lighter here, like, and that point of disconnection from the internet, disconnection from obligation, like all those stuff that you kind of, or wera pihitanga.
Yeah.
Tai mai ki kone, you just kind of feel free and feel lighter and look out to the moana, and then there's activities that you do as well out here.
Yeah.
From fishing to whatever, to diving. There's all those things we need, and also think about our whānau who are, you know, most of our whānau are based in, most of our bros are based in cities.
Yeah.
You know, urban Māori.
Yeah.
And don't have that, but I think the value that we're looking for when we're coming out here is that present. And like a lot of us aren't present.
Yeah.
I find like, because if it's kaupapa, if it's work, if it's school, if it's study, like these are all things that just create distraction.
There's always something, eh?
There's always something,
you know.
When we step away from that thing and we're present, we have to address those feelings.
Yeah.
Like, oh, actually, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Or actually, I don't feel settled from that argument, or I don't feel settled from losing this person.
Yeah.
So these are the times where we have to address it. So I think it's powerful. I was just thinking around, I think a kōrero we had the other day. So some of the activities you do here is fishing, might be diving, might be going to, you know, kohi kai. But I think the point you were talking around was like, sometimes it's not even about that.
No.
It's like you could do that and catch nothing.
Yeah.
What were some of the...
It's like, and I'm pretty sure like all the bros would agree on this, even going out fishing. I was actually talking to one of the bros at Muri Whenua too, and he was saying the same thing. we pack up all our gears. It's such a cool and exciting thing, especially for males, to pack up all our gears, do all of that, and go down the beach and throw out a line. If you catch some eka, it's mean as, because you know that when you come home you're feeding your whānau. But if you don't catch anything, it's just the time to sit, I guess, and just listen to the moana, listen to the hau, listen to your whakaaro, make plans moving forward, and just reassure yourself that you're a good father, or you're a good partner, you're a good bro. And it always comes with some laughs as well, especially when you take the bros out, have some really good laughs, because if you think about it in your day-to-day lives, if you're just at mahi, how often do you actually have a real, authentic crack up, to the point where your puku sore, you're in tears? For me personally, not very often.
We were talking yesterday fitness.
Oh.
But atu i ngā actual mahi, why we do it now.
Yeah.
Do you remember what we were talking about?
Yeah. So when we're your age, bro, way back in the heydays,
Back in the days,
when we just come out of nappies, we're the same as you three, the triples. Ka haere atu ki te whare whakapakari tinana. We used to go there early in the morning. We used to do 2-hour trainings, and then go to work, and then go back there for another 2-3-hour trainings. And then part of it was catching up with the bros. We used to have some real solid whānau back in Whangarei, and it was that catch up time, it was working out, it was getting smashed and all that sort of stuff. But now, as we've grown older, we've started to move towards maybe just ensuring that our bodies are in a fair condition, I guess, to keep up with our tamariki, because that's a huge thing as well. A lot of our whānau, kua ngaro atu ki tēnā momo māwiwitanga o te noho puku, and so they don't really focus towards any type of physical fitness, because that helps with mental fitness as well. If you think about, say Fran, how resilient do you have to be to hold on to those last 9 thrusters, those last 9 pull-ups, just hold it, and so that helps to build up the mental capacity of resilience. And we, myself and Jude, we always talk about that, if you can get through a WOD, you can get through anything, man, because the amount of struggle that you have to go through, in such a short period of time, that's transferable into any type of mahi that you do.
Being okay to sit with pain, sit uncomfortable.
Be comfortable with it, man. Swim in it.
And but I think that's also another challenge for the bros, to learn how to transfer that pain into, I think, mental discomfort.
Yeah.
Because we kind of feel I feel like we avoid difficult conversations at time because of how it makes us feel.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've told a few bros, if you can get through that first conversation, bro, you'll feel way lighter.
Yeah.
But and if you can get through Fran, if you can get to that 9 rep mark,
Friends like the tauira now,
I know, bro, if you can get through that, sub 3 minutes, fly your way.
easy.
But I think even for me now, in terms of fitness and the point you raised on, it's more mental way. I enjoy it. Had the kind of competitive streak and stuff. But for me now, it's just this is just time for me in my head, just to kind of clear things out.
Yeah.
And I think for bros, I think we can hold a lot of our tension in our tinana. So once we kind of go through something physical, and then we kind of lose that strength, or we feel fatigued, we're oh damn, the only thing left is what's in our head. So I think that's really powerful, kind of the post-workout clarity you can get, which is the thing I kind of go for now, as opposed to any PBs. I just enjoy it as a thing.
It's like a byproduct, and that's really cool, because it's shown that, say you've been so consistent and resilient, and that if you can do that, sweet, I've still got it. Yeah, a lot of us are like that. Some of us aren't.
So what 100 kg snatch? That's all I needed.
100 kilo stroke press, I can still do it, sweet as. But because you're actually suffering, not suffering, but you're enduring. You're enduring, or you're enjoying the pump. or you're that focused on trying to get through a workout or even just a normal gym session that you forget about everything else. Ka mahia ngā pakeketanga o te ao. And then, yeah, it feels really, really nice to actually go to the gym. And although you're suffering at the time, when you leave, you're like, it's something really good for you, eh?
Right, I get the same feeling when we go out diving, like, because tai te mai, breathe. Hold your breath, bro, don't.
That's it. That's all you're trying to do. You're just trying to survive.
I don't know hard, like, you're just like, stress me, like, I can't focus on what's happening at work, I can't focus on what's happening at home right now.
Yeah.
Only thing I need to focus on is my breath and making sure I can have enough to come back up.
True.
But yeah, what would you say to another bro? What would you say to a young rangatahi dealing with stuff?
Well, at the moment, in my old age, it's just what we were talking about. It's find something that makes you happy, and even if, say for example, I bump into, a 20-year-old, someone who's finding it real hard, I might take them out fishing or something, or say, come and do this with me. It might not necessarily be their cup of tea, but it's a starting point, eh? And then, they can sort of build on from that. But find a space where you're comfortable, it makes you happy, and that it sort of brings you back down to earth, and reassure yourself that you are doing the right thing every day. And because that's it, eh? You're never going to make everyone happy, and that's actually what I've realised within our council mahi, is that you've got all these thousands of people in your district, and yes, you might make one piece of that district very happy because you've put in a new wastewater system, but also the other ones are quite rika because they haven't had anything in how many years. And it's the same for our day-to-day lives. You're never going to make everyone happy. The number one person to make happy is yourself, because how can you move on beyond that if you can't make yourself happy, eh? So you find that something where you can focus on yourself and have some mental clarity.
I think that's another part of being a part of Te Māori. I think making yourself happy, kētahi, he pohe, he matapiko koe. I think kind of focusing on yourself can be...
You know what, that's probably the Achilles heel of Te iwi Māori, is that we're too busy trying to please everyone else, that we forget about ourselves. And it's something that might be good for a short period of time, but we need to look beyond that short period of time. We need to focus further ahead.
Actually, it's just reminded of something you were saying at the start around like the way we talk to our kids.
Yeah.
I heard this thing around like the way you talk to your kids is the voice they hear as their inner critic. So the things that you say, if they're good, then that becomes a supportive person.
Yeah.
But if you're one that's like, oh man, this isn't good enough. Oh man, you're being useless. Oh man, you forgot to do this. That just builds their inner critic, and that voice will be your voice.
Yeah. And like I joke with my boys sometimes. Boys just being boys, eh? Like I throw out some good ones to them, like kore take tō reo, or kore take tō whakarite kai. And have a little bit of a laugh. But I always I quite often say to my boys, like, he rangatira koe ne? And they're like, aye? Like they're unsure if I'm being cheeky or if I'm being for real. But like even those small things like, tino nui o mai hara ne? And my boy Toro, like if somebody says to him, Toro whakati mai o mai hara, like he'll proudly go, not like that, but you go like that. But just those things, like give them something to be proud of, outside of, just, proud of dad or proud of your whenua, but be proud with them themselves. It might not be a reality, but I'm building that reality for them, eh?
Yeah, because then you show them what's possible, eh?
Oh, bro.
Ko te ākinga nui kia rātou, oh no, actually you could be the most possible.
Many things are possible as long as you have the right support in place,
And belief.
Yeah, pēnei me tēnei kaupapa. A lot of people would have thought that, it's good, but, and you might have never been able to do it by yourself, but being able to share the whakaro, like, you've been able to gather a collective of tāne to come together to be able to get this kaupapa over the line. Yeah.
No, it is much, yeah. Yeah, it is that belief, and like how we father our boys, how we're fathering our boys, I think it matters so much, and the way we talk to them positively, and the way we talk to them, how we show them we can do things differently. It's not about speaking negatively. I think that's such a massive part of this journey and this change, because koe tonu I think is an appetite for change.
Yeah.
Is there something you've noticed as well?
Yeah, of course. Even like I said it earlier on there, like I love to just get a lot of tamariki and to be able to share that with them. And I do, like, you know, with my brother's tamariki, because I'm not too sure if they receive the same loving or kōrero that my tamariki get. And so whenever they're present, I make sure I'm like, oh, you know, pea ana koe so-and-so, you know, pea ana te kura, how's sports? Not just saying, oh, you know, morena. But there's a huge appetite for it, and it's probably a good starting point where we need to start thinking, okay, like if we're doing it within our own whānau, how can we encourage the bros, how can we encourage our tamariki to start talking to each other in the same way?
Yeah, because are you a I love you whānau?
No, nah, bro, far out. Tino rawa ho tēnā kōrero kia, tēnā kōrero kia mātou. It's just real strange, eh? Like, actually not just my, like my mum, dad and brothers, but the wider whānau, our whole whānau, coming back to love language, our love language is work, is cooking, you know, that's how we show love. But like, we're a real tight-knit family, like you know, say if there's a hui mate, drop of the hat, everyone knows what their jobs are, mutton, wood, stuffing, and we all come together, we laugh, we joke, we run each other down, and that's our type of love language. But yeah, nah, saying I love you is just a real alien kōrero to us. And I wish we could say it more, but like, I've tried it actually, I've tried it to my old man. And my old man's tried it back to me too, and my mum and everything, but it just feels so weird.
Yeah, it is, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I can feel, and but I guess that's the main thing, is we can actually feel the love between us. We just don't know how to express ourselves or say it. Because I've said it to my old man, and he said it to me, and it's like awkward.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, oh, love you, my boy, and I'm like,
Cheer you too.
I do love the old man. I love my mum, and same. It's just we show our love in a different way. That's a
whānau, And I think that's the point. Like, love is a verb, something that you show, something that you do. And saying that though, you say I love you to your boys.
Yeah.
And how's
you, my baby?
Yeah. And does your dad to his moko?
Yeah, actually he does, eh? So it sort of skipped the generation. Like, hey, pull that from me. Maui te pai. But yeah, nah, he does.
Yeah, I do think that's really important here. Where we can, like, of course, show up, but even saying can be really powerful. Yeah. And I know another one for the bros is actually, I'm proud of you, son. That's those words I think from our dads is like, well, koro, like far out. Like, I think I've heard their dad says it, and I know he feels it. Yeah. The times he has, like, that's really touched me. Like, I'm like, far out, Papa. Like, that's all we want. Yeah.
Hey, that's all you ever want. Yeah. Was just to hear that. Yeah, was just to hear that, you know, I'm proud of you, or you're doing well.
I know, and it's just that feeling of being recognised and acknowledged. I was just thinking, like, for my little whānau, there's one thing I want my girl hearing, which is me saying, like, I love you. Yeah. But also hearing me say, I'm sorry. I think that's a really important thing as well, because I think that on the other side of apologies is the repair for a relationship. It's the repair of whatever emotional or uncomfortable thing there is. Yeah. So, like, an example, if you know, me and my brothers have had a falling out or something, and we're both just holding our lines like, no, I'm not budging, then it's not going to change until someone apologises. Yeah. And I think that showing our kids that apologising is a good thing, because it looks after a relationship. Yeah. And not apologising looks after your ego. Yeah. So you've got to fall which way you're going to fall. Yeah. So falling towards an apology, I think, just helps with repairing that rupture or repairing that relationship, and then that's when the work can start. You know, between you and, it might be you and your dad, it might be you and your mum, it might be you and your partner. Yeah. But like, until someone makes it, and it's usually the bro. Kia pono. Usually the bros have to
with
do
a pack of Tim Tams.
Yeah. Oh. I think that's just showing that our kids that that's a normal practice. Yeah. As much as I heard Dad say, I love you, he also said, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. And so we don't create this like yucky feeling around saying apologising. Yeah. Because then we create yucky feelings about our mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah. I say that to my tamariki, and I make sure that, you know, when they do wrong to each other or to other tamariki or to other people, that, you know, I always say to them, tuku I tō aroha. And they do too, with a bit of an awhi, and so that's a good teaching for our kids too, eh?
It is, Mats. It is. Just thinking
What
about.
about, do you want to teach your kids to say, I am wrong?
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Okay.
Maybe
I've actually
mother.
been saying that a lot of the time, eh?
Yeah.
Like, even if
Yeah.
I'm not strongly disagree, but I don't, I might be on the fence. I'll just say, you know what, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely correct. And it's cool because it actually moves the conversation along quite quicker.
Yeah.
You know?
Instead of, because as soon as you start like putting down your feet
like,
and like,
oh,
yeah,
nah.
setting up a fortress, you're like, nah.
I'm like, I've found it easier just to say, you know what, you're right. It's a good idea.
Okay, just the same way. What other commitments do you think you've made to demonstrating or teaching your boys or your kids around about being good men, about being emotional men?
It's, I think for my boys, this whole conversation has pretty much been about my tamariki, but aini ko ki te ngāhua, is to, really look after their mum. It's just that same thing. Like, who knows when the lights will switch off, for each one of us. So I'm really trying to make sure that they're prepared to look after their mum, because the way they look after their mum is essentially the way that, hopefully they'll look after their partners, their tamariki, to show that same love, to be caring, to be nurturing, to apologise and give those words of love. So yeah, probably that, if that makes sense.
So yeah, like nui o wā tāua kura hangana ki ngā tamariki, but like for Tāmati, to Tāmati, what are you doing for yourself? Who are you talking to? What circles have you made to look after yourself?
Oh, it's just the bros, eh? Like say the wānanga on the past week, te taumata. Cool thing, taumata o te reo, taumata o te whakaaro Māori, taumata o te kōtahitanga o te iwi Māori, all those sorts of things. But and I've realised this a long time ago that I actually, a lot of the time, I go to taumata just to catch up with everyone, because we get so caught up in all our mahi, and everyone's doing great mahi, everyone's doing mean mahi, and actually the only time we get to catch up is either at a hui mate, or te rao waitangi, or mātātua, or all these cool things that we're all doing in all our spaces. But I actually go to these wānanga just to catch up with the bros, and because I know that we all have the same whakaaro. I know that we're all trying to build this pātaka kupu of, I'm proud, love you, bro, that's mean mahi, oh, yeah, bro, I got you, all those sort of things. So that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I'm maybe building a fortress of bros that are able to support me, because even this kaupapa, if it was pouring down, if it was hailing or anything, I would have made myself available to it, because I know in the long run, ngā hua ka puta, and also I know that you guys have always been there to support me. Like, say for example, even you guys, and I said it to you the other day, even you could wear any other piece of clothing that you want to in the world. There's thousands, millions of brands. But even for the bros or any member of my whānau to wear a Taiao top like that actually really does something to me emotionally. It makes me proud of the mahi that I'm doing, and it ensures me that we are doing the right thing, because, if people are proud enough to wear it, then they must think that we're doing something right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it shows that that it matters to people, and I think that's what people are trying to identify with in these kaupapa.
Honestly,
this really touched my heart.
I went to the laundromat after the wānanga. I went to the laundromat to do our washing, and this old fellow was there, and he had a short sleeve one on as well, and I was like, I actually people probably think it's weird, but I fanboy when I see people wearing my kaku. If I don't know them and I try to take sneaky photos. But no, I buzz out, like kids walking, like even in Kaikwe, we live in Kaikwe, see someone at the grocery store, but it really just buzzes me out, and so I guess that's something that reassures, makes me proud.
Hapai mate, pātai whakamutuga. So kia nei ko o whakapapa kei konei kei te tautokoro, so speaking around your whakapapa here in the north, but I think a question for the people is why the niho hiriwa, why does it Where did that come? What whakapapa was that from?
Well, but like, because I went to Wesley College, I was telling you before, like, I tupu ake mātou i roto I te hāhi, so Wesley Methodist, kura. And man, first time, you know, boy going from Kaikohe to Tāmaki, you see like all these Tongans with their gold teeth, and it's like, oh, that's mean. And actually went over to Tonga on a church kaupapa back in something like 2009 or something. And then the opportunity just popped up. Like there was me and a couple of the other Samoan boys, and they're like, yeah, should we go? And it's like, well, yeah, went and got it. So yeah, and there was already some corrosion there anyway, so, but yeah.
So you're half Tongan.
And I actually
Tongan.
when I fill out forms and stuff, and my bros from school, they crack up, but I think they're proud at the same time. They're like, yeah, toko. Yeah, they're like, you know, you have to state your ethnicity, and I'm like, Māori, Tongan. That's cool though, because at the end of the day, he whānau ko tahi tātou no te moana nui aki wa.
Oh yeah, koe ko ngā tiwakana. Che, mi mats.
Me nā.
Anu I tēnā. I mean, mats.
Me.